Hello, students. Okay, it's a little bit late for me right now. I know I said that I would have a lesson ready in the afternoon. I apologize. So, I've never done online teaching before. This is my first time, and there were a lot of things that I have been trying to figure out, like what kind of software to use to make this video, for example. Um, so I'm still learning, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to message me. So we do have a Facebook group to keep you updated about this online class. But most of the material will be posted here in TSU MOOC. I am making videos like this one, so we're not doing WebEx or something. I think this is easier for everyone. When we have a video, then you can study on your own time, whatever is convenient for you. Okay, so let's get started here. First, if you haven't looked at it yet, there is a quiz in TSU MOOC, so you can review what we learned about the origin of sound, where does sound come from. Now let's review what we talked about last week, and let's learn some new letters and sounds of English. So here we are looking at IPA again. So there's 40 different sounds in American English. These ones in red, these are vowels that we have in British English, but we don't use these in American English. So we've learned, we've talked about some sounds like p and b, the consonant sounds. We also learned different vowels. So you should remember these from last week. This is a, e, oo. So what you're seeing, these are the IPA letters. IPA letters, we also call them phonemes. A, e, oo. Say it with me. A, e, oo. Okay, you know how to pronounce these sounds. You have the same sounds in Thai language. But like I said, in this class, we'll start with the sounds that you know, so that we can continue learning the sounds that you don't know. So this is a, e, oo. What word is this? Can you guess? What word is this? Okay, I think you can guess this one. This one is pool. That is how we would spell pool in IPA. Just p, oo, l. What about this word? Okay, it looks like hat, but actually this is the IPA for hot. T. And this one? What word is this? This can actually be two different words, peace or peace. So in English we have many different ways to spell words, and we don't speak English the way that we spell it. When we learn IPA, IPA is all about the sound of a word. What sound do we make when we're speaking? What sound do you hear when you're listening? So when I say peace, peace, this is what you hear. This is p, e, s, peace. Okay? Now let's learn a new vowel. So this one, the IPA letter is new. You already know this one because you have the same vowel in Thai language. This is aw. Say it with me. Aw. Okay, so the IPA letter, the phoneme for this one is a little bit unusual. It looks like a letter C turned backwards, and you have these two dots that looks like a colon. The reason we don't have the reason the letter for this one looks a little bit strange, we have many different ways to spell words with this sound in English. So, for example, here's a few words with aw, mall, saw, cough, author, dog. So, very different ways to spell words. In mall, we have an A, saw, AW, cough, OU, author, AU, and dog, just O. So next I want to give you a quick challenge. Can you think of 10 words with aw? Take a minute to think about it. I'll give you 1 minute. Can you think of 10 words with aw? Okay. Did you think of 10 words? You can probably think of some other words that have a spelling similar to this. So I'll give you examples of some more words. Say these with me. Repeat after me. Mall, call, ball, saw, law, awful. Awful means something very bad. Something awful happened to me today. And this one, cough, bought, thought, author, laundry, sauce, dog, boss, off. Okay, and I'm trying to say it with a very big, like, aw sound. Actually, in American English, ah and aw sound very similar. They're more different in British English, but when you're listening to American English, sometimes it's hard to tell, is that ah or aw? They do sound similar in American English. Let's try some IPA. So can you tell me what word is this? Okay, that is the word sauce. Like I put chili sauce on my omelet, sauce. What about this word? Law. The word law. So again, when we study IPA, we think about how does the word sound, not how do we spell it. We have 3 letters in law. You only need 2 in IPA. L, aw. What is this word? Yeah, ball. Okay, there's 2 L's in ball, but only 1 L sound, so we only need one L, one L in IPA. Okay. So we talked about the vowels A, I, U, and today we learned a new vowel A. Last week we learned some consonant sounds. Consonants in English are more important than vowels. So first we started with the bilabial sounds. Bilabial. So remember that bi means two and labial means lips. So three sounds, m, p, and b. These are sounds that you make with your lips. Let me get the webcam back here. Okay, so you can watch my lips when I say mm. See, my lips are closed. Mm. This is called a bilabial nasal sound. Bilabial nasal. So when we say we close our lips and we make the breath resonate in the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is this open space behind the nose. And it is a voiced sound. So that means when you put your hand on your larynx, you can feel a vibration. Some consonants have vibration, some consonants have no vibration. If it has vibration, it is voiced. No vibration, voiceless. Okay, so we talked about bilabial nasal. We also talked about p and b, what you think of as the P and B sounds. These are bilabial stops, so we close our lips to stop the breath. P, B. Now this is what we call a consonant pair. A pair is two things that go together. I have a right shoe, I have a left shoe, I have a pair of shoes. In English, we have letters that are consonant pairs. Two letters that we pronounce the same way. We do the same thing with our mouth, with the articulators. But one is voiced and one is voiceless. So when I say p, p, the P sound, there is no vibration. When I say b, b, the B sound, now I have the vibration here in the vocal cord. So b is voiced. Okay? All of this, we're just reviewing what we talked about last week. So let's say a sentence with our bilabial sounds. Say this with me. It's people play ball by the museum on Monday. Okay, so that's probably an easy sentence. You have all of these sounds in Thai language, but we start with the sounds that you know so we can learn more about the sounds that you don't know. Last week we learned a new sound, the V sound. Now, some students, if you're not sure how to say if you're not sure how to say V, some students will say w, like the W sound. You might say voice instead of voice. So what we learned is that the V sound is actually a consonant pair with the F sound. And these are called labiodental fricatives. Labio means lips, dental means teeth, and fricative means friction. So to pronounce these sounds, your top teeth touch your bottom lip, and as you blow air, as you blow your breath through here, It makes friction. Friction, remember, is when two things rub together like this. That is called friction. So labiodental fricative, top teeth touch bottom lip. Again, this is very different from the w, the W sound. You see what my lips are doing? W. We don't want to do that when we pronounce the V sound. So remember how to pronounce each sound. For f and v, top teeth touch bottom lip. And f is voiceless. You should feel no vibration. V is voiced. So you already know how to pronounce the F sound. To pronounce V, all you have to do is add the vibration. Okay, let's practice. Let's practice a few examples. Okay, so this sentence says, Vicky feels very funny after a flu vaccine. So to practice this sentence, I'm going to change it a little bit. First, we'll say it like this. So this says, Vicky feels very funny after a flu vaccine. Okay? So remember that f and v, the F and V sounds, we pronounce them the same way. If you're not sure how to pronounce v, if you're not sure how to pronounce V, you want to practice, try to read a sentence like this, but when you have a V sound, first change it to an F sound, okay? Repeat after me. Vicky feels very funny after a flu vaccine. Okay? So now we're going to say the same thing, but with the V sound. So we're going to add the vibration. Okay, first let's say these two sounds together. So repeat after me. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to say okay? So top teeth touch bottom lip. Deep breath. Add the vibration. Okay? Now back to our sentence. Repeat after me. Vicky feels very funny after a flu vaccine. Okay. And the next sentence, this says, advice from a fool never has value. First, let's do it with the F. So this is, advice from a fool never has value. Okay. Now add the vibration. Advice from a fool never has value. Okay, one more. This sentence, Val, this is a name, Val. Val viewed every film featuring Farrah Fawcett. Okay, first with the F. Repeat after me. Val viewed every film featuring Farrah Fawcett. Okay, and again. So first the F sound. Add the vibration. Repeat after me. Val viewed every film featuring Farrah Fawcett. Okay. Give yourselves a hand. Yeah, that is the V sound. Now, next I want to learn something something a little bit challenging. So, f and v are a consonant pair. You have the f sound in Thai language. You don't have the v sound. Our next consonant pair is difficult for most students because you don't have either one of these in Thai language. So what you're looking at, the first one is and the second one is and and so these are the sounds that you would hear in the words think this, think this. How do we pronounce these sounds? Okay, so the first thing to know, these are a consonant pair, two consonants that we pronounce the same way. These are dental fricatives. Can you say that with me? Dental fricative. Okay, so dental, like when you need your teeth to be clean, you go to the dentist. Dental means teeth, and fricative, again, means friction. So just like f and v are the labiodental fricatives, lip and teeth, this is a sound that we make with our teeth. It's actually tongue and teeth. So what you're doing here to pronounce f and the sounds in think this, the tip of your tongue is between your teeth. By the way, when I say tip of the tongue, so if this is your tongue, in English we say that the blade of the tongue is this part in the middle, and the tip of the tongue is the very end of your tongue there. So this is the tip of my tongue. And when I say these sounds th and th, okay, I'm opening my mouth wide so that you can see the tip of my tongue is between my teeth. Think this. Think this. Okay? Let's have a look at that again. So, these are a consonant pair. The think sound is voiceless. It has no vibration. The voiced, that is a voiced sound. It has vibration, the sound in this. So think this. Now notice something. Both of these words, think this, both of these words have TH, letters TH. So these two sounds, we always spell words with TH. Any word that has TH has one of these sounds, but it's a little bit confusing because TH makes two different sounds. The letters TH can be th or it can be th. Alright? So let's start with the voiceless sound, the sound in think. Okay, so again, watch my mouth. Tip of the tongue is between the teeth. No vibration. All you do is you put the tip of your tongue between your teeth and breathe. Blow air. Okay, I'm opening my mouth a little bit wider than I should because I want to show you what I'm doing here. But all you do is that you put the tip of your tongue between your teeth and breathe. And that's how you make this sound. Okay? So can you say this with me? First, say the sound. Now repeat after me. Through, thick, and thin. Tip of tongue between teeth. Through, thick, and thin. Through, thick, and thin. So this is an idiom, by the way. Through, thick, and thin means in good times, in bad times, I will stick with you, my friend. We will stand together, and we will keep fighting through thick and thin. Another one. This sentence is, truth is worth something to an author. So again, tip of tongue between teeth. Okay, say it with me. Truth worth something author. Okay, put it all together. Truth is worth something to an author. One more time. Truth is worth something to an author. Okay. Yeah, these dental fricatives, you don't have them in Thai language. They can be hard to pronounce. So it's important to remember how to pronounce this sound. This is one of two TH sounds. All of these words, truth, worth, something, author, they all have letters TH. And here's another example. This one is a little bit harder. This one says, Thelma thinks Thursday is her 13th birthday. Thelma, so this is a name, Thelma. Thursday has that th sound. When we have numbers like 4th, 5th, 10th, 13th, that is also the voiceless th sound that you hear. Okay? So, again, watch my mouth, tip of tongue, between teeth. Okay. Repeat after me. Thelma thinks Thursday 13th. Again, 13th birthday. Okay, can you put it together? Repeat after me. Thelma thinks Thursday is her 13th birthday. Again, Thelma thinks Thursday is her 13th birthday. Good. Okay. I think that was good. I can't hear you, actually. If you do have any questions, please feel free to message me. So we're talking about th and is voiceless. Next, let's try the voiced sound. This is a consonant pair. We pronounce them the same way. We do the same thing with our mouth. But when we say there's a bit of vibration in the larynx, in the vocal cords. So here's a sentence with this, that, and the other. This, that, and the other. So same thing with our mouth. Tip of tongue between teeth. Now add the vibration. Like that. Okay? Are you ready? Repeat after me. This, that, the other. This, that, and the other. Okay, this is another idiom. This, that, and the other means everything. This thing, that thing, the other thing, everything. And something to notice about this sound, we don't have many English words with this sound, but we do use this word in words that we do use this sound in words that we use often, words that we pronounce very often. Most English sentences will have a word like this, the word the, this, that, other words like they, them, these, those. So we use this sound in words that are very common, words that we speak often. Here's another example. Some of these words are not so common. This is breathing in rhythm is rather soothing. Okay, so again, tip of tongue between teeth, but add the vibration. All right. Repeat after me. Breathing, rhythm, rather, soothing. Breathing in rhythm is rather soothing. Breathing in rhythm is rather soothing. Okay, so soothing, by the way, soothing means something that makes you feel calm, something that makes you feel relaxed. I feel relaxed when I breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in rhythm is rather soothing, is what that means. Let's do another one. So this sentence says, together these southern mothers tan leather. So mothers making leather. This voiced dental fricative. So this is the sound that you hear in words like southern, northern, father, mother, brother. That voiced TH sound. Okay. So let's give it a try. Again, tip of tongue between teeth. Add the vibration. All right. And repeat after me. Together, these southern mothers leather. Together these southern mothers tan leather. One more time. Together these southern mothers tan leather. Yeah, so the word southern, sometimes I hear students say like southern with a t sound. So this th sound is different from the t sound. With this one, remember to keep the tip of your tongue between your teeth. Southern, southern, northern, and you can pronounce the sound that way. Okay. Two th sounds, voiceless and voiced. Can you do a sentence with both sounds? Okay? Say it with me. Tip of tongue between teeth. Okay, repeat after me. The weather this Thursday. Thunder. Thick. So the weather this is voiced. Thursday thunder thick is voiceless. Repeat after me. The weather this Thursday will be thunder and thick fog. All together. The weather this Thursday will be thunder and thick fog. Okay. Good job. Give yourselves a hand. Take a breath, a deep breath. Take a glass of water. The next sound will be easier. These dental fricatives, I know they're hard. Just focus on remember how to pronounce each sound. And then you can practice anytime. You will have to practice the sound many times before you can make it perfect. And that's okay. So even native speakers, when we're children, it takes a long time to learn to speak sounds like this. The th sounds th and th. It can take 6 or even 7 years for like an American child to learn how to pronounce these sounds perfectly, because it is a difficult sound, and actually most languages, not only Thai language, most languages don't have these sounds. So remember how to pronounce the th sounds, and then you can practice. The next sound will be easier. The next one, congratulations, you have this sound in Thai language. This is n, the N sound. And the IPA letter looks the same as English letter N. This is IPA letter N. All right. So we're talking about the sounds that you know, so that we can learn more about the sounds that maybe you don't know. So this is an alveolar sound. Say that word with me, and remember when we say v, the V sound, top teeth touch bottom lip, okay? Repeat after me, alveolar. Alveolar nasal. Okay, so remember nasal means nasal cavity, the open space behind your nose. We have another nasal sound. Do you remember? The M sound is a bilabial nasal. So when we say we close our lips. Show you the picture. We close our lips, and you can feel the sound. You can feel the vibration here. In the nasal cavity behind the nose. So when we say you can see that my lips are open, but actually my tongue, you can't see my tongue. My tongue is stopping the breath. Say it with me. And put 2 fingers in front of your mouth. Or let's do it this way, okay? Let's start with the M sound, okay? Put 2 fingers in front of your mouth and say Do you feel breath? No, because your lips are closed, so you can't feel any breath. Say b, the B sound. With 2 fingers, b. So there you can feel the breath. You close your lips to stop the breath and let it go. B. Okay? Now let's try it with the N sound. 2 fingers. Can you feel your breath? So your lips are open, but actually there is no breath coming out of your mouth. You use your tongue to stop your breath and make the sound resonate in the nasal cavity. Make the sound resonate behind your nose. Okay? And this is voiced. How can you tell? Put your hand on your larynx and say Yeah, you should feel the vibration. That's a voiced sound. Let's do a sentence with This is Nancy's noisy neighbors are annoying. Okay, repeat after me. Nancy's noisy neighbors are annoying. Okay, so when you say this sound I want you to think about where is your tongue? So I said that your tongue is stopping the breath. When you say can you feel? Where is your tongue? Your tongue is on the alveolar ridge. So we talked about lips, teeth, tongue. Your tongue is here. When you say your tongue is at this bumpy place behind your teeth. In English, we call that the alveolar ridge, that bumpy place behind your teeth. That is the alveolar ridge. Now, it's a weird name. Maybe you don't think about the alveolar ridge when you're speaking, but actually we use the alveolar ridge to pronounce many sounds in English and also in Thai language. So today we're learning English alveolar sounds. You already know Next, I'll give you 2 more that you should already know. This is T and D. Okay? So the IPA letters, it looks like English T and English D. This is IPA T and D. You do have these sounds in Thai language. In Thai language, you have many different ways to write the ta sound. And of course this is da, t, and d sounds. So these are called alveolar stops. So first let's do a sentence. Say this one with me. This is time after time. Time after time. That's another idiom. It means something that happens many times. It happened again and again and again, time after time. And a sentence with d. Say it with me. Down in the dumps. Okay, this is another idiom. Dump is where you put the trash, the garbage. So you feel down in the dumps. It means, oh, I feel so bad. I feel like garbage, like I belong in the garbage, or my life is garbage. I feel down in the dumps. So these sounds are what we call alveolar stops. So just like with go to the video here. Just like with my tongue is on the alveolar ridge behind my teeth when I say t, t, and d, d. Can you feel your tongue is in the same place? Your tongue is also on the alveolar ridge, but something is different with your breath. So put 2 fingers in front of your mouth and say the N sound. You feel no breath. You're using your tongue to stop the breath and make it resonate in your nose. Now say t, t, d, d. When you say these sounds, you should feel a little burst of breath, a little explosion of breath. T, t, d, d, t, d. Okay, so these are called alveolar stops. What that means is that our tongue touches the alveolar ridge to stop the breath. Usually, we stop the breath and let it go. So that's how you can feel your breath. We stop the breath and let it go. T, d, t, d. We stop the breath and usually we let it go. So this is another consonant pair. We are doing the same thing with our tongue, but one of them is voiceless, t, and d is voiced. So you can feel it if you put your hand on your larynx and say t, t, d, d, t, d. T. The T sound is voiceless with no vibration, and d is voiced. It does have the vibration. Okay, so usually we say these sounds, we stop the breath and let it go. There is another way to pronounce these sounds. So to give an example, the sentence, Dan's teacher's heart is hard. Dan's teacher's heart is hard. So in English, each of these words has a D or a T. And if you search for these words in IPA, that's what you'd see. Teachers with a T, heart with a T. But actually, there's 3 different sounds here. So in Thai language, you have different letters. You use 3 different letters because there are 3 different sounds when you say Dan's teacher's heart is hard. By the way, when we say you have a hard heart, that means you're very mean. Dan has a teacher who is very mean. Dan's teacher's heart is hard. So these are actually three different sounds. In phonetics, we call this aspirated D, aspirated T, and then the unaspirated sound. We will learn about these later. But for now, I just want you to know that there are different sounds that D and T can make. We'll learn about these later. Let's move on. We're doing the alveolar consonants. So we're talking about the things you know so we can learn the things that you don't know. Next, I have another consonant pair, S and Z. The S and Z sounds. So the IPA letters, again, very easy. S, it looks like letter S, and Z, it looks like letter Z. So you have many letter S in Thai language, but you don't have the Z sound. I know some students have learned how to pronounce Z before, so let's talk about that. Let's also learn what words have this sound. But first, we'll practice a sentence with the S sound. Okay? Say it with me. The surface of the sea tastes salty. So surface has a letter S and a letter C. Both of those letters make the S sound. Remember, in words that come from French, we have letter C can make the S sound. The surface of the sea tastes salty. Okay? So, first, well, okay, let's go to the next one. So these are alveolar fricatives. Alveolar fricatives. Alveolar, again, means alveolar ridge, the bumpy place behind your teeth. And fricative means friction. So when we said t, and d, the T and D sounds, we used our tongue to stop the breath. When we say s and z, you don't stop the breath. Your tongue actually doesn't touch the alveolar ridge. We just put your tongue very close to the alveolar ridge. So for the alveolar fricatives, the tip of your tongue is near the alveolar ridge. The tip of your tongue is near that bumpy place behind your teeth. Say it with me. So when you say this sound, the tip of your tongue is near the alveolar ridge. It's near the bumpy place behind your teeth. And you don't stop your breath. You make a small space for the breath to go. So when a lot of breath tries to get into that small space, it makes friction. And the friction makes the sound that you hear. Is it voiceless or voiced? Put your hand on your larynx and say S. Okay? So that is a voiceless sound. There is no vibration. So good news. We have another consonant pair. S is voiceless. Z is voiced. They are both alveolar fricatives, so we pronounce them the same way. We do the same thing with the tip of the tongue near the alveolar ridge to pronounce Z, the Z sound. All you have to do is add the vibration. Okay? Now, you know some letters, you know some words with letter Z, maybe like zoo or zebra. Some words with letter S also make the Z sound. So we'll learn more about that later. But for now, you have a word here, eyes. Eyes on the prize. Okay? So again, we want the tip of the tongue near the alveolar ridge, the same way we pronounce S, the same way we pronounce S. So, say it with me. We're going to say S and Z. We do the same thing with our tongue, but when we say Z, we add the vibration. Okay, so you can put your hand on your larynx. Deep breath. All right. Now say it with me. Repeat after me. Eyes. Prize. Eyes on the prize. Okay? If you need to practice, just like we did with F and V, the F and V sounds, so you can try it with a S sound first. These are different words, but the same sound. We're just changing Z to S. So this is eyes on the prize, and this is ice on the price. Say that with me. Ice on the price. Eyes on the prize. So we say it the same way, but we just add the vibration, make it voiced. Ice on the price. Eyes on the prize. Okay, so this is an idiom, eyes on the prize. The prize is the goal, the thing that you want to win. Eyes on the prize, it means I'm thinking about my goal, I'm focused on my goal, I'm trying hard to reach my goal. Question, this sentence, ice on the price, what does that mean? What do you think? Okay, actually it's a trick question. Ice on the price, it doesn't mean anything. But this is an example about why it's important to think about how to pronounce each consonant, each consonant, especially when we talk about S and Z. If you use the wrong consonant, it becomes a different word. So if you say S, price, it's a different word, different from Z, prize. Same for ice, eyes. So think about what sound should I pronounce, and remember how to pronounce each sound. S and Z, voiceless and voiced. Okay? So it's hard to make a sentence with Z, so let's just say a few words. Okay? Repeat after me. Zoo. Zero. Zoom. Zone. Zigzag. Zipper. Size. Rise. Size, rise. So again, some words with letter S do make the Z sound. We'll learn more about that later. Now I want to finish with the alveolar sounds. So we said that the alveolar ridge, we use it to pronounce many consonants in Thai language and also in English. There is one more alveolar consonant, and the good news is you already know how to pronounce it. So this is L, or L, the L sound. And the IPA letter looks like English letter L. So you already have this sound in Thai language. And that is good because it's actually hard to explain how to pronounce this one. This is what we call an alveolar approximant. Say that with me. Alveolar approximant. Okay, so alveolar, of course, means alveolar ridge. Approximant, or approximately, is a word that means almost. This is almost like an alveolar consonant, almost like t and d, but it's a little bit different. When we said t and d, we use our tongue on the alveolar ridge to stop the breath. This approximant sound, what's actually happening is that the tip of your tongue touches the alveolar ridge, but then your breath moves around the tongue, around the blade of the tongue, around the sides of the tongue, and that makes the l sound. Say it with me, l, l. So the tip of your tongue is here, but your breath is moving around the tongue, is moving around the blade of the tongue when you say l, l. So that's why we call it an alveolar approximant. By the way, this is why we're doing online lessons. I have to show you what I'm doing with my mouth, so I can't wear a mask. And so we're doing online lessons here to stay safe. Let's do a sentence with L. This is Lily likes old dolls. Say it with me. Lily likes old dolls. Okay. Yeah, so you already know how to pronounce L. You already know how to pronounce the L sound. Now you know this is called an approximant. The tip of the tongue touches the alveolar ridge and the breath moves around the blade of the tongue. So that is all of the alveolar sounds. Again, alveolar consonants n, t, d, s, z, and l. Next, we have a worksheet that will give you some practice listening, identifying sounds, and also writing IPA. This is something that we'll do in many activities in this class, writing IPA to show that you understand the sounds that are being spoken, understand the sounds that you hear. Okay, so I'll let you start the worksheet. There's a worksheet that you can use to write IPA, and there's a video that goes with the worksheet. All right. Stay tuned. Keep checking for more lessons. When we have a new lesson, I will make a post in the Facebook group. And now it is time for me to go to bed. So good night or good morning or whatever time it is for you, students. And thank you. Have a good day or night.